The Yay or Nay Show with Alex C. A sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. And now, here is Alex C.
All right, here we go. I want to thank you for joining us today. Remember, if you're streaming us, you can always watch us. You can watch us on Twitch. All you got to do is search for Yay or Nay Show. You could also go to Instagram and find us, Yay or _ Nay Podcast. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter to stream us, Yay or Nay Podcast, the address there. Remember, it's different from the Instagram. The Instagram is Yay or _ Nay Podcast. And on Facebook and Twitter, it's Yay or Nay Podcast. For those of you who are streaming us via video and would like to download the episodes, all you got to do is go to anywhere you enjoy your podcast, Google, iHeart, Apple, Deezer, wherever you enjoy podcasts. The only place we are not is Pandora. Everywhere else, you could find us, Yay or Nay Show with Alex C. Want to thank you for checking in with us today. All right, got a lot of Yay or Nay questions to get to. Told you we had some problems with, getting our Twitter feed to work correctly. We got it corrected now. Let's get to some of the questions and your answers. Do you believe Dak Prescott will be ready for week 1? 56% to 44% say nay. Now, there are a lot of new reports. Seems like they're coming out daily in regards to Dak Prescott, his health. You heard Dallas try to downplay his injury, say he's stronger than ever. He's ready to go. He threw, like 50 some odd passes the other day before their preseason game. But here's the thing. He threw nothing long. No long distance passes in any of the throws that he did prior to week 2's game. So that should tell you something right there. Not to mention when you got former stars that are within the organization's realm and they're able to get inside information and they're telling you they're seeing stuff that ain't right with Dak, that tells you there's going to be a huge problem. And Dallas can only go as far as Dak can take them. And they already had a problem with that to begin with because Dak can't take them very far. So Dallas in for a rough season, and all these Cowboy fans, and I know I'm going to hear a lot from these Cowboy fans because I'm about to say this, but all you insufferable Cowboy fans who constantly tell us how you're going to win the Super Bowl this year are once again going to be investing money in wine and beer and everything you can think of to help you forget the football season once this one's over. All right, the next question. Are the D-backs the worst team in baseball? I've been saying all season long, even though I haven't talked a lot of baseball. I wish I would have had time to talk more. But by the time I joined this podcast game, the season was well underway. And then, of course, a lot of crazy things have been going on. And there's just been a lot of things that have diverted my attention away from baseball. But the bottom line is I've been telling you how bad the D-backs are, how the general manager and the manager both need to get fired. D-backs have been playing better as of late, won 7 out of the last 10. I could care less. You're playing against the worst teams in Major League Baseball in this part of the season. The Diamondbacks have one of the easiest schedules, so they should win these games, even though they are playing a bunch of rookies and on like their 16th pitcher as of today as far as starting pitchers go. But the bottom line is that at the end of the day, there's no way to slice it and dice it. You're still horrible. You're playing against the worst competition that there is in baseball. I don't care that you won 7 out of 10. General manager and manager both need to be fired. This whole team needs to be overhauled, and they're not going to be looking at making the postseason anytime soon. But again, are the D-backs the worst team in baseball? Hey, the fans are still behind you, D-backs. 58% of the people that voted said you are not the worst team in baseball. Now, I know there's a couple of teams that people want to name and they want to say they're worse, but they've only had recent woes, okay? The D-backs have been consistently bad for season after season after season. So I don't know that I agree with this particular poll answer, but I'll take it. You're the fans. You get to decide. All right, here we go. Do you think the 49ers are trading Jimmy G? We've talked about this a lot. Everybody in the national media wants you to believe that the 49ers can't wait to get off of Jimmy G. Matter of fact, there were even stories out today where they were saying they asked Shanahan who's going to be the starting quarterback. Shanahan didn't name the starter, and I would say that he did that in order to light a fire under both his quarterbacks to try harder, strive to do better. But instead, the national media doing what they do, trying to create controversy where there is none, is saying, oh, Jimmy G's job's in trouble. It looks like he's not going to be the starter after all. Again, these guys, do they realize how dumb they look when they want to put a rookie in charge of a roster that is built for the Super Bowl and a rookie who has not had a snap in 2 years basically, because he didn't play last year at all. So I think prior to the preseason, he had 5 snaps in the last 24 months or something like that. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, right? 20 snaps in the last 24 months, whatever the number is. It's an outlandishly low number, and these guys think a guy like that is going to come in and lead a Super Bowl roster. And not to mention, they were jumping up and down, screaming about how great he was. You know what? I'm going to save this for later on because we're going to get into that in a minute, actually. So hang on. Here we go. 100% nay. Nay, that Jimmy G is not going to get traded. This is what the fans are saying. No, 100% of the people that voted. All right. Are the Dodgers your favorite baseball team? You know, I always like to ask these questions. Come on, let's face it. There's a lot of people that hate the Dodgers. They're, traditionally a great team. As of late, they've been really good. Won a World Series. Got a shot at doing it again this year. So I asked, are the Dodgers your favorite baseball team? 100% of the people that voted said nay. All right, another question that came back. Are the New York Yankees your favorite baseball team? Now, here's a team that has had woes, ups and downs. They've got a roster that they're paying through the roof. They're built for success. They haven't had the success that they thought they should have. They are, as of late, having good success. So, again, I thought I'd ask the question. Are the Yankees your favorite baseball team? 82% say nay. 18% said yay. All right, another question. Should the ASU Sun Devils fire the entire coaching staff of their football team? All right, now we know they're mired in all kinds of controversy, scandal, if you will, in regards to recruiting violations during COVID-19. Heard an interview today with Herm Edwards where he totally downplayed it, walked away from it, acted as if nothing was wrong, tried to act as if he was moving into a regular season. Look, Herm Edwards, despite what the four-letter network tries to say about this guy and has been saying about this guy since he took over ASU, he sounds old. He sounds like he's out of touch. He sounds like he doesn't have a finger on the pulse of his team, let alone his coaching staff. And he gives answers that are really generic and really sad, in all honesty. I didn't hear anything that made me think that he sounded like a football coach in the interview that he gave this morning in any way, shape, or form. And again, I know the four-letter network is all about him. They're talking about him. They've always been talking about him, talking him up, saying what a great addition to the ASU coaching staff he was, what a great job he was going to do. I have yet to see it. He's got the exact same records that ASU had before he arrived. Granted, last year was a COVID year. They only played like 4 games. But I would venture to say that this season's going to be no different from the 2 previous prior to COVID. And if that ends up being the case, I think ASU should fire him, not just because of the allegations of the inappropriate behavior that they had recruiting-wise, but because he has done nothing to improve this team in any way, shape, or form, because he really hasn't. Anyways, bottom line is, should the ASU Sun Devils fire the entire coaching staff? 100% nay. Now, that was a small sample, granted, but 100% came back saying nay, that they should not fire him. Again, I disagree. I would have fired him already. I would have used the scandal as a reason to fire him. I don't see ASU improving at all. I see the Sun Devils being what the Sun Devils have always been, and it's something that's not impressive. All right, the next question. Who should be the starting quarterback? And I'm talking about the New Orleans Saints here. Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill? This one, low sample size. 100% of the people that voted came back and said Taysom Hill should be the starting quarterback. Now, I would tend to agree. Jameis Winston is going to be what he's always been, a guy who throws interceptions. He's already shown that even in the preseason. I haven't seen anything impressive out of him in any way, shape, or form. I think Taysom Hill would be the better one of the two. However, with that being said, I do not believe Taysom Hill is a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's one of those guys that you bring in as a gadget quarterback, the way they have been utilizing him in years past. They should continue their quarterback search and look at putting Taysom Hill back in that role. That's what I think should happen. All right. Who should be the Patriots starting quarterback, Cam Newton or Mac Jones? Now, that recently was announced that it is, in fact, going to be Cam Newton. However, with that being said, the voting that's come back is 56-44 in favor of the guy who was mentioned to now be the starting quarterback in Cam Newton. So Cam Newton wins the vote, and it looks like he is, in fact, going to be the starting quarterback, even though everybody, again, in the national media trying to create a controversy saying he's got a short leash, he's not going to be there very long. Mac Jones is eventually going to be the starting quarterback this season. Same thing they're saying about Jimmy G. Look, these guys love to create controversy. They need things to talk about because they don't know how to talk about things that are right in front of their faces. They got to make stuff up because they don't know how to talk about real things, or some of the real things that are right in front of their faces they don't want to talk about because it might go against people that they love, like the head coach of ASU, like certain ball players who shouldn't be playing in the NFL because some of the things that they have done. But they won't have those conversations, so they'll make up other issues that don't exist in order to avoid those issues and have something to talk about. Not to mention trying to fill up 3 hours of airtime. I've always said they need to shorten some of these shows on these networks because these guys make up too much garbage because they're trying to fill airtime and they're just not really good at filling up airtime. And that's just really obvious. All right, now, who should be the Bears starting quarterback? Andy Dalton, Justin Fields. We all know that the fans in Chicago, if we're just talking about Chicago, we all know those fans are all in on Justin Fields. I could make the argument that's wrong, and I have been making the argument that that's wrong. And by the voting that came back, people agree with me, 56-44, Andy Dalton should be the starting quarterback. Justin Fields is not ready. He's not mature enough, first of all, and he's not ready. That's just simple. There's not even really a question mark for all these, again, national media guys who are sitting there trying to say that Justin should, in fact, be the starting quarterback. Look, I don't know where some of you get your information from. I don't know what some of you guys base it on. But if I go off the good old eye test, you could see Justin Fields is not ready. Not only that, if you go off the ear test, the words coming out of his mouth, you can see that Justin Fields is not ready. Okay, here's another one. Who should be the 49ers starting quarterback? Now, we all know I've been going rounds and rounds saying that I don't agree with, first of all, there being a controversy or even a battle in regards to who's going to be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. National media, of course, saying, yes, there is. Trying to say Jimmy's done. 49ers can't wait to get rid of him. That Trey Lance should be the starting quarterback. And that Jimmy G is going to have a short leash, which is a joke. A guy who took a team to the Super Bowl is going to have a short leash versus a guy who has played 20 snaps in the past 2 years, no NFL experience whatsoever, and he's going to be a guy that can take a Super Bowl roster to the Super Bowl. But again, we're going to talk about how I can prove, as I already have, but I'll continue to do it with a couple of more home runs today, on why Trey Lance should not be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. But here's the thing. 100% of the people that voted in this particular poll, but again, a small sample size, think that Trey Lance should, in fact, be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. Again, I disagree, but nonetheless, with that being said, doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you're the fans, you vote, I give the results, and you guys are agreeing with the national guys. Well, again, at least on a small sample size. Now, all right, I said that I was going to do this, so I got to do this. There's so many things to talk about. Obviously, some things I'm going to have to push to some future podcasts. I've got a lot more guests lined up, by the way. Going to really start to have some fun with some guests on the show. So the show's just getting better and better. I'm learning a lot of things about this podcast thing. So, I appreciate you for hanging out with me while I go through this learning curve of how to exactly do this podcast thing. But again, I appreciate it. I'm growing. I'm getting more and more downloads. I'm getting more and more followers. So again, I appreciate you. I thank you for listening. It's only going to get better, I promise. And you can always message us on any of the forums that you listen to. Let us know your thoughts. I take criticism, folks. There's no ego in this game. I'll take criticism all day, and I'll work to improve it. All right, now, again, Here we go. Results from week 2. There's only a few games that really mattered or stood out to me, I should say, but we'll go over it really quickly in regards to the entirety of the schedule and the scores of the games. New England 35, Philadelphia nothing. Look, let's face it, Philadelphia's in trouble. They got a lot of work to do. They got to figure out their quarterback situation. Not that they got to figure out who the starting quarterback is in fact going to be, but they got to figure out how to make that offense click. And I would make the argument, I know a lot of people like to say that the preseason doesn't matter, but I would make the argument that it does. For it matters for every team, but in a different way, okay? It really does. For some teams, like Philadelphia, you got to have your starting squad out there, and you really got to have them pushing the envelope. You got to make sure that you put them in the best position to succeed, and in order to do that, they got to play more. Doesn't matter that it's the preseason. They got to play more because right now they are horrible and they're not doing well, and you've got to get them out there, and you have to make sure that they are prepared and ready from the word go on week 1. New England 35. Look, New England putting up 35 is good. Again, Mac Jones looking great. I think that he's got the right coach. Yes, coaching does matter. It is a true fact. But I think Mac Jones could succeed in a lot of different systems. But again, he's in one of the better systems with Belichick, and he's going to succeed. Him and Cam, they're great. But again, it's a mistake to have those two guys be the competing quarterbacks because 2 different styles. You would have to be prepared to play 2 different styles of offense. If one goes down, the other's not going to come in and be able to play the same style of offense. I think that's a bad. I think it's a negative. But again, they could still be successful. But bottom line is they're going to do well. They got a shot at making the playoffs, and I think they could do it. But again, is Cam going to be the guy leading them all year? You know what? I don't know. I think if there is a quarterback who does have a short leash, it is going to be Cam because he is so inconsistent. Kansas City and Arizona. Here's 2 teams that are on different playing fields. Number 1, Kansas City, I said they're not going to make Super Bowl. I stand behind that statement. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl. Arizona, they look stagnant and horrible. They need to have their offense out there way more than what they've had. They need to really go to work. Practice means nothing. You're not going full speed. You're not hitting. You know you're not going to get hit. It's easy for a quarterback to stand in the pocket and throw the ball when he knows he's not going to get hit. It's a mistake to think that practice equals perfection. It does not. You have to play the games. And the offense for Arizona is horrible. Kansas City didn't look impressive either. But again, I think that's what Kansas City is now. I don't think they're impressive anymore. I think they might be exciting. I think they might be fun. I think you'll have some flash plays. I don't think they're going to be the dominant team they've always been. Again, that's why they're not going to win the Super Bowl. Arizona, horrific, horrible. Local media trying to make them sound, so exciting, and they got so many things to look forward to. But the one thing they did not make the mistake of doing today was talking it up about that offense. Everybody admits that offense is horrific, but they have different thoughts in regards to how much that offense should be playing. Again, I'm going to say they need to be out there as much as possible because if they don't, I'm telling you, they're already in trouble with the schedule, and they're already in trouble with the roster being as weak as it is. And I'm not sold on Kyler Murray as being a great quarterback to begin with. He's too short. He's inconsistent. He's got to learn how to live in the pocket. There's a lot of problems with Arizona. The coaching is, oh my goodness, so skeptical. Another thing that needs to be changed. But again, I'm a 49er fan, so keep them as far as I'm concerned because it just means, hey, San Francisco's guaranteed 2 wins a year, right? But bottom line is Arizona has a lot of problems. That's just the way it is. There's no other way to say it. Cincinnati, Washington, again, I question the quarterback choice for Washington. I think it's a mistake. You got a journeyman. I don't think he's going to be able to lead you to the promised land. I don't care how good your defense is. That doesn't mean you could put a so-so quarterback in. It just doesn't. Cincinnati, what? Joe Burrow, he's the guy, right? Coming back from an ACL. We're going to have to wait and see. I don't know. How good can they be? Maybe they make an improvement from last year, but I didn't see anything that was significant. Buffalo and Chicago. Now, here's a game that was of interest to me. Mitch Trubisky, the former Chicago quarterback, goes into Soldier Field and runs camp all day. They beat up on Andy Dalton while he's in. And guess who else they beat up on? Justin Fields. The guy that said the game was too slow got embarrassed again. Again, he got embarrassed. This is why this guy's not ready to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. This is a guy who said the game's too slow, and he couldn't put up any points against Buffalo's second and third string. I mean, how can the game be too slow and Justin Fields can't put points up against second and third string? That tells me you are not ready to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Irregardless of what the national media is saying, and I know that's probably what Justin Fields is hearing is what the national media is saying, and there's all these former players, and they're all talking, and they're saying how great Justin is and how they need to make him the starting quarterback, and Andy Dalton has a short leash, and he's going to get pulled, and Justin's going to, get in there, and he's going to be the guy, and he's going to take the team further than what Andy Dalton can. Really? What has he shown you in the preseason that makes you think that? And don't give me that preseason, it's only preseason speech, because when you got a guy who's never played in the NFL and he's running his mouth saying that the NFL isn't ready for him because the game's too slow and he's all this, guess what? Where is this? Because I haven't seen it. You put up nothing. Mitch Trubisky did a number on Chicago. That's what you're supposed to do when you're playing against second and third string. So Justin Fields, for all the hype, for all the talk, again, this is where I'm going to get it right, and the national media once again is going to get it wrong because Justin Fields, not this year anyway, is not the guy to lead Chicago to the promised land. So again, me and the national media got a lot of disagreements. Jimmy G, we disagree. He's the man. He's going to be the starter all year long. This is another one. Justin Fields, I think Chicago's going to make the mistake, and they're eventually going to put him in. They're going to cave to pressure. They shouldn't, but they're going to cave to pressure. But when Fields gets his chance, the national media once again will have to figure out how they're going to try and make themselves still sound knowledgeable when Justin Fields goes in and he looks like garbage the way he's looked like garbage all preseason long. Green Bay and the Jets. This one, Green Bay, it doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers sitting out, not playing. They're obviously going to be ready for week one. The Jets, you got a question mark with the coach, a first-year coach, brand new quarterback. How good can they be? That's a good question. And that's an answer I don't think anybody can give. I know you got all these analysts, they're trying to give the answer and tell you they're going to be this and they're going to be that. But the reality is until this coach and this quarterback see real NFL speed up front when you're the new man in charge on both the coaching spectrum and the quarterbacking spectrum, you don't know what this team can do. And I would say that that goes against you. It doesn't bode well. The Jets are in for a rough season is what I think. Atlanta, I mean, seriously, I don't even know what to say. Atlanta, there's nothing there. Miami, they're going to be interesting. They're not going to be bad at all. They are very, very well coached. Tua, how much improvement has he made in the offseason? That's the question. How much improvement has he made? How much improvement has the coaching staff made in regards to scheming? How good are they going to be in in-game adjustments? Those are real questions. And those are questions that have yet to be answered. But I think Miami's going to do well. I don't know that they make the playoffs, but they are definitely going to be right there. Baltimore and Carolina. I've said Baltimore's a sleeper. I don't know why everybody's sleeping on them. Baltimore is going to be way better than everybody thinks. And I know that for some reason they think that they're just going to look good in the regular season and get to the postseason and falter. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Baltimore is not only going to do well, but I think they're going to be a threat for the Super Bowl. And keep in mind, if they go up against Kansas City, I'm picking Baltimore to beat Kansas City. I'm just telling you right now. Pittsburgh and Detroit. Well, Detroit's going to be what Detroit's going to be. Do I think the quarterback switch is going to make a big deal? I don't know. I think they'll be better than what they've been. I don't know anything about this coaching staff, so I can't really talk about that. But I think that Detroit's going to be better than what they've been. I think Jared Goff is definitely an upgrade from what they had at quarterback. I think they got the better end of that trade between them and the Rams. And I think I'm going to be right at the end of the season when we're looking back on that trade. But I don't think Detroit's going to be anything special. Pittsburgh, well, let's face it, Big Ben. I said 7 years ago, I've been saying for the last 7 years he should have retired a long time ago. He's injury prone. He can't stay healthy. Pittsburgh is going to basically be depending on Big Ben. I don't know what he could do with that elbow. I don't know that he could do anything more than what he's done in all these seasons past. Is Pittsburgh going to be a playoff team? Well, a lot of people are now in the national media against Pittsburgh, saying that Big Ben's going to be done. He's going to be out. He's going to get replaced. I don't think that's the case unless he gets injured, but I don't think that's going to be – they're not going to yank him, okay? I know that the national media is trying to say they're going to yank him and he's on a short leash, but why? He doesn't have much behind him, first of all, and secondly, he's been the man for a lot of seasons. He's still got a little in the tank left. I don't think he has enough to take you to the Super Bowl. I don't think he has enough to make a deep run in the playoffs, but I think that he's going to be just good enough. But again, playoffs, if that's all their aspirations are, they'll make their aspirations. But Big Ben's elbow is still a question mark to me. How healthy is it? That's the question. Tampa Bay and Tennessee. Tampa Bay, again, I said it 100 times and I'll continue to say it. Tampa Bay is not going to make it back to the Super Bowl. They are not going to be the Super Bowl champs. Again, national media and I not agreeing at all on this. They think they're going to run it back. Oh, they're so great. They're so good. Oh, Tom Brady. Tom Brady is nothing, folks. He's a system quarterback. He is not nothing but a system quarterback. He's dink and dunk. He doesn't have a strong arm. He's never had a strong arm. He's methodical. He's smart. He's Peyton Manning-esque. Absolutely. He could break a defense down. Those things he can do. That's what makes him great. That's what makes him good. He's not flashy. He's not incredibly athletic. But again, because he's a think tank, because he can think fast on his feet, that is what makes him good. But is he the reason why Tampa Bay won last year? No. There's a lot of question marks in regards to that whole deal. But bottom line is, it's easy to win a Super Bowl when the team you're playing against has their whole offensive line out, when the superstar quarterback is injured and can barely move, and he's not mobile, and the defensive starting front, which was a powerhouse, is also injured, and you're playing against that. Basically, you're playing against second and third stringers in the Super Bowl. So, of course, you're going to win the Super Bowl. Had it been straight up Kansas City against Tampa Bay, it wouldn't have even been a game. Would not have been a game. All right, moving on. We got Houston and Dallas. Look, two garbage teams. Again, I don't believe in Dallas. I believe that if any of their starters get hurt, I'm going to go back to what I said in week 1 because I stand behind it. They don't have anybody behind their starters, number one. Ezekiel Elliott's been getting worse and declining every year. Dak Prescott, to me, is not a big-time quarterback. He's overpaid. He doesn't even have any playoff wins, yet he demanded to be one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in the NFL. That's a mistake. He's injured. I think they're downplaying the injury. I think even if he were healthy, I'll make this. Even if he were healthy, it wouldn't make a difference. Dallas is not. Again, me against national media. National media is trying to say, oh, if anybody's going to give Tampa Bay a run in the NFC, it's going to be the Dallas. No, it's not. Dallas Cowboys are not a team that's going to go up against anybody in regards to the NFC Championship. Come on. No, you're not going to go from worst to first when you haven't done it in 20 some odd years. Okay? It's just not going to happen, number one. And number two, it's really not going to happen when you've had the same quarterback this entire time. Okay? So when you look at it from that aspect, no, me and national media, this was another victory for me at the end of the season that I'll be dancing all over the national media on once again, because Dallas is not going to be anybody threatening for the Super Bowl, let alone, I question whether they even have the ability to win their division. I'm just saying. I question their ability to even win the division. Indianapolis, Minnesota, Carson Wentz looks like he's going to be back. That's going to be great news, great roster, great team, great coaching staff. Indianapolis could do big things with Carson Wentz. Minnesota, Kirk Cousins. I mean, seriously, that's all you got to say. There's your limitation right there. There's no other way to say it. There's your limitation. Kirk Cousins. The Raiders and the Rams. Well, I think the Rams made a bad choice in quarterback. You got a guy that never did anything in the postseason, and he isn't going to do anything in the postseason now. Irregardless of the fact that he has a better coaching staff behind him, irregardless of the fact that he's got a better roster at his side, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think the Rams will be a playoff team, but they would have been that with Jared Goff. If he can't do any better than what Jared Goff has done, which means get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, then you didn't make a good trade. Raiders, look, Gruden, you haven't done anything. You've made nothing but bad decisions. They should have never given you the long tenured contract that they did. Obviously, you're too comfortable. You don't feel any pressure, and it shows. And you're not showing any kind of urgency in regards to try and make a winner. And I question whether the fact you even have the ability to make a winner. Denver, a team that everybody says is a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl. No, they're not. They've never been anything. This is a horribly run organization who makes horrible draft picks. John Elway should be removed. This is not a good team. They're a team that's 8-7 wins every year. That's what you look forward to. That's what you think about when you think of Denver, 7-8 wins. Playoffs? No, not really. Super Bowl? Come on, who are you kidding? Are you seriously talking about Super Bowl? Denver is not a team you think of. No. Again, national media guys, another thing you're going to get wrong, and once again, I'm going to get right. They're not a quarterback away from anything. They're not a great team. They got some names. Big deal. That doesn't make you a great roster, because when it goes to being on the field and it's time to play ball, I don't see anybody that makes me say, man, I got to watch their highlights every week. Seattle, Russell Wilson. Is there anything else to say? They're going to be a threat. They're going to be one of the top two in the NFC West, arguably the toughest division in football. And they are, if anybody, again, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but since the national media guys want to harp on Tampa Bay being the team that everybody's got to beat, if anybody's going to beat them, well, it's going to get done real easily by the Seattle Seahawks. Real easily. San Francisco, Seattle, either one of those two teams will blaze right past Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is not that good. I just cannot emphasize that enough. And Seattle would blaze right through them. Simple as 1, 2, 3. Russell Wilson and that crew, there's no way around that. 49ers and the Chargers. Chargers, an up-and-coming team. Herbert, great quarterback, looking at having a great year. A lot of people are predicting playoffs for him. So am I. San Francisco, a team that could possibly win the NFC West again. Again, arguably the best division in football. Another team that is going to probably be there in the NFC Championship. It's going to be between them and Seattle. Again, take Tampa Bay out of the equation, national guys. Again, this is another thing I'm going to embarrass you on, because I'm going to be right and you're going to be wrong. Tampa Bay is not going to be there for the NFC Championship. So let me just say that one more time. Tampa Bay is not going to be there for the NFC Championship. It's going to be yet another thing where I am right and you national media are wrong. But San Francisco is going to, have a great season. And another thing where I'm right and national media is wrong. And it's going to be Jimmy G at the helm, national media. Just want to make sure I throw that in there. So again, a lot of great football to look forward to, a lot of things to be excited about. And of course, there is definitely, without a doubt, going to be a lot of controversy throughout the season for a multitude of reasons. Let's just hope coronavirus doesn't wreak its ugly head. We don't want to see it. We don't want to hear about it. Let's hope it's in the past as far as the sports world goes. And let's hope we have a coronavirus-less season. With that being said, you guys have a great day. I will talk to you soon. Enjoy week 3 preseason. We will talk soon.